Check, check, check. Just so you guys know, I start out every video by going check, 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 check your groove thing. So just know that that's how every video starts. All right, welcome back to my channel, member homies. And what I want to do today is another very popular, kind of question I get from you guys, everyone. And it's how to get my tone. And my tone is, obviously spread out through different amps depending on what I'm using. But one of my most asked about ones is my Axe tone. And I don't know how to share tones on here. And my Axe Effects is pretty outdated at this point. It's an Axe Effects 2 XL. And I think there's been like 3 different reiterations of it. And new firmware and all that stuff. And I don't have any of that. But I figured I would walk you through, and hopefully, if I'm screen recording this correctly, you can see exactly what I'm seeing on the template of the Axe Effects. Because there's a software that comes with it that you can use if you want to dial stuff in versus using the actual interface on the product. Because an Axe Effects is stupidly confusing. So, signal chain. I'm obviously playing my Friedman Vintage T, which has P90s in it. And I'm going into my Axe Effects, and that is going directly into my interface. If you saw the How I Record video, you know all this. And so basically, this is what you're seeing now on the screen, is what the very base of my tone is. So the main tone, like I said, that a lot of people ask me about on YouTube, is I'm actually using a Friedman BE model. It's basically simulating one. And, it's just kind of, sorry, something popped up there. Sorry, so I'm using a Friedman BE, and I have it, pretty low gain. You can see all my EQ settings right here. So the gain is a little bit past noon. You can hear the bad notes with the good ones. And let me move this out of the way real quick here for just a second. Make sure that my audio is also recording. So basically, this is where it all kind of starts. I have a very kind of just bare bones rock and roll tone with this one. Which I really like the way that alone sounds. When I record guitars, like in a song, I typically record the guitars dry. And I add reverb later. And when I record solos, I typically record solos wet, and then I don't really add too much to them. I don't know why. That's just how it works. But anyways, so you hear that tone. Now, a lot of times, to kind of beefing it up, so you can hear, like, right now I think this is a good tone. You also might notice, can you see it? I finally got rid of the palm tree that was back there that was dead. But now I'm going to turn on this drive. I don't know exactly. So I'm using like an 808, basically overdrive. And you can hear how it thickens up the sound. Now, what I typically do when I record, and this kind of ties in with the other video, is I'll play one riff of the song or whatever, like this, without the drive on. Because believe it or not, less distortion typically sounds bigger. And then I'll record the other side, like the left and or like the right side, with the drive on. Okay, more compressed. It's a darker sound. And but that's overall tone. Now to me, my tone really comes alive, for me anyways, when I add the reverb and delay. I think the Axe Effects has great reverbs and great delays. So like I said, so here it is again, very dry. And if you come over here and add the reverb, listen to how much bigger it makes it sound. I think it kind of compensates for how dark that drive makes it sound. There you go. With this guitar, I'd probably pull that drive back a little bit, actually. That's a little bit too much. There we go. A little bit better sound now. Now for the reverb. You can see that I'm using a medium room style reverb. Room and spring are my favorites, but the more I kind of play with them, the more I think room is my favorite. I love that sound of just this cabinet in, you know, this big empty hall or something like that. Maybe not a hall. Room is what I like, not a hall. But you know what I'm trying to say. And you can see my mix. You know what, man? I'm an 80s rock and roll kind of guy. I like a lot of reverb. So again, listen to it here without reverb. Okay. With reverb. There you have it. Now, when I'm doing solos, I kick the drive up a little bit, usually around 2. I get kind of like ridiculous, which is so much distortion. And I add my delay in here. And I've always liked tape delays, and if you have it, I record in mono most of the time, but this is actually a stereo delay that I have. If you listen to the Axe with headphones on, you can hear the stereo, and it sounds amazing. It's so cool, but I record pretty much always in mono. It's just adding that extra layer, and you notice I don't have a lot of tail and a lot of repeat. You know, you're getting probably like 2.5 repeats. I don't like those real washy delays that they end up just like piling on top of each other. And I've never been able to make those sound good. There's some guys who can make them work, but for me, I've never been able to get those to sound very good. So that is, I mean, honestly, that's my tone. So, you know, I get asked about it a lot. Let me go over to the amp real quick. So a couple things I want to point out. So I prefer, I have the bright switch on here turned on. I like a very bright and cutting tone, but I like it to be thick and dark. And I think that's because of my two, you know, Eric Johnson, Eddie Van Halen, all those guys. Like Eddie has a very cutting tone. Eric has a very dark and fat tone. So I like, to me, my tone, if anything, is the blend of both of those guys. It's fat, but it can cut. And one thing I should add real quick, if you guys want to hear, I'm always complaining about P90s, how noisy they are. I have a noise gate on it. I truly believe that the Axe has one of the best, I wish they'd come out with it in a pedal, one of the best gates I've ever heard in my life. Because here it is with the gate turned off. Listen how loud this is. It's ridiculous. And it doesn't really kill the tone. And you can see how much I have to crank on this gate. And to me, it doesn't affect the tone at all. Anyways, now I'm getting off on a tangent. But that's pretty much it. There's a lot of other fun things, you know, that I like to do. I'll show you guys my clean tones as well. One of the things I like to add sometimes in the, like another layer, is I add the rotary sound. And I've always thought this sounds really cool. So on. But anyways, my clean tone is, you can see I call this one LP tones. It's a tone I made for my Les Paul years and years ago. Actually, it was originally called Feeling Stratty. Let me see if I can go back to that one. So this was the original tone that I made here on the first tone I ever made. It's called Feeling Stratty, which was made for a Strat, of course. Then I made one for my Les Paul, which is LP tones. I just now realized how good that old Strat one sounds. I think I need to use that more. But my clean tone is nothing special. It's just a Vibra King that I have on here. And this is essentially... Oh, actually, yeah, this is I saved it, finally. I've had the same tone for years, and I never saved it, and it never had chorus and delay and reverb. I had to always, like, add it. I'm like, why don't I ever just save this tone? And I finally, I think last week, after, like, 4 years, I saved the tone for the first time. So this is my clean tone a lot. Give or take the chorus sometimes. But I like chorus on there, you know? Channel members get all the bad notes too, with the good ones. So if you want it, of course, here without all the fixins and stuff like that, you can have this right here. That is, to me, a terrible, terrible clean sound. All right, home diggity dogs, that is it. I'm gonna quit playing the wrong notes and get back to making more videos. Thank you guys, as always, for being such amazing channel members on here. I truly appreciate it. I think that I think we've got something that will really, really work well for everyone here. So until next time, yo, diggity dogs, I'll see you out of here. Look at a backward peace sign high five. Are you all about it? Because I am. Later, guys.